I'm at the Ash River Visitor Center going on another boat ride in Voyageurs National Park.
A lot of fishermen would come out to this area, and tar was hauled out to this area as well. And they had nets that were made of twine and natural materials, and they would actually tar their nets and tar the bottoms of their boats right here so that they would last longer. Commercial fishing was really big in this area. Most of it was on Crane Lake and some in Rainy Lake as well. There were 7 large-scale operations. It started as early as 1892, but there is still tar evident on those rocks from where they used to dry their nets. So commercial fishing was banned on Cabotogma Lake in 1923. And then in the park, so even though commercial fishing was banned, sport fishing and recreational fishing is still huge. A lot of our popular fish species, we have northern pike, saugers, walleye, smallmouth bass, muskie, yellow perch, black ducky, and we do have lake sturgeon, which can be huge in size. So when the park was established, there were about 650 summer homes, cabins, hunting shacks, resorts, and state lease cabins. And this one belonged to I.W. Stevens. I.W. Stevens, Ingvald Walter Stevens, locally known as Steve. He was a Norwegian immigrant born in 1885, and he moved to the U.S. when he was 19 years old. He worked in Hibbing, Minnesota, until 1931 as a shoe salesman. And he ended up moving to Namakan Lake in 1932 after being advised by his doctor to seek a less stressful life. So wanted to get away from Hibbing, Minnesota. Has anyone been there? It's not super busy, but he wanted to escape that and come out this way. So he ended up purchasing this island, which is about 400 acres. He ended up purchasing this from the Virginia Rainy Lake Logging Company, and he created what became known as Pine Cove Resort. Pine Cove Resort operated from 1937 to 1959 as a fishing resort. He ended up stopping the resort business so that he didn't have to work for anyone else. But after it closed, he turned to a life of homesteading. He ended up leaving the island in 1979 at the age of 94 years old and died at 104 years old. And he is remembered for his independence and his love of solitude, wilderness, and wildlife. Alright everyone, if you look out the port side of the ship, the left side, we have a double eagle's nest. It is in the tree. It doesn't go straight up, it's kind of a funky shape. There are 2 eagle's nests. The top one is occupied, however, the lower nest is up for rent. So if anyone would like to live there, we can inquire about how much it costs. Just kidding. A lot of people may think that water tends to flow south or down if you're looking at a map. However, here in Voyageurs, water flows north. We are north of the Laurentian Divide, or the Canadian Shield, so for that reason, water here will flow north up into Hudson Bay into the Arctic watershed. Okay, so everyone, right now we are in the Voyageur Narrows. Yeah, this is the route that the Voyageurs actually paddled through on their canoes, and their canoes were about 26 feet in length, birch bark canoes. The French-Canadian Voyageurs, they were about 5'6", but there were records of some being 6 feet tall, and they would paddle for anywhere from 15 to 18 hours per day. And they would have these very rocky portages, which a portage is land that you would have to carry your boat and everything over. And when they were using those portages, when they were carrying everything, they had little pieces or packages that they would have to carry. Most of them were the goods, not much of their own personal gear. Most of that was stored just like in their loose fitting clothes, wherever they could fit it. But when they were carrying packages over the portage, each one weighed 90 pounds, each package, and they were expected to carry at least 2 packages. So you would carry 180 pounds up to 450 pounds. And when that birch bark canoe was, after it was wet, that weighed about 450 pounds and could carry about 3,000 pounds. Each crew consisted of about 8 Voyageurs paddling very, very long days. Alright everyone, so if you are outside, or if you're looking outside, you might notice the water looks a little bit different. There's some churning, some boiling in the water. Yeah, the churning and boiling right now, the current, that is from the 2 dams we have nearby. So there is Squirrel Falls, which you can see off to the right. That is the dam in Canada. And then we have Kettle Falls, which is the dam in the US, which we will be arriving to shortly. Hell is known as the jewel in the forest. It was built between 1910 and 1913. Nearly 150 stonecutters and masons lived and worked at Kettle Falls from 1911 to 1914 while the dam was being constructed, and the hotel was made to house the men while they were working. Something interesting you'll notice, which everyone should check out, is the bar has some pretty unique features to it. The floor is a bit different, and the hotel was built with a timber foundation on a viscous clay soil. So the load-bearing walls gradually sank 5 feet over the years, gently bowing all the hardwood floors. So you'll go in, sometimes they call it the tilted Hilton. The floor is tilted because it's sank. However, they keep, I'll just say, you can still play pool, and you'll see why. All right, so as we get up here, we are going to have 2 hours to explore.
I thought the mosquitoes were going to be bad, so I put on a long sleeve shirt, but now I'm suffering in the heat. I don't know what it is, probably in the 80s or 90s. I've been serenaded by birds the whole time I've been in Voyageurs National Park. Inside the bar, you can see the floor slope. This floor is definitely settled over time. I'm walking from the Kettle Falls Hotel to Kettle Falls. There's a boat decontamination station. They get something like 145-degree water to spray on the boats. They don't want the zebra mussel migrating between the lakes.
If a boat is coming from Rainy, we have a decontamination machine which will clean the boats at about 140 degrees Fahrenheit. It will clean them, go over everything to make sure that if there are zebra mussels, they are being killed so that we're not bringing them into these waters.
All right, we're on the north side, and that is Canada on the south. Doesn't quite make sense, but that's Canada to my south. Time to head back to the boat. Saw 3 bald eagles on the ride out. We'll see how many I see on the way back.